for us, because as we said before the start, 3 more points and we leapfrog Arsenal, where we go, of course, in the FA Cup on Friday night, and Arsenal and Chelsea kicking off in just over half an hour's time. But we move up into 5th place, splitting Chelsea and Arsenal on the back of that 7th successive victory. And a really good win as well. Had to grind it out a bit at the end. Brighton so dangerous from set pieces. But 2-1 will do very nicely indeed. Quinton Fortune and Lou Macari is here. Always a good judge. Lou, give us your verdict on this one.
I think because we had such a good run, Jim, everyone expected just to come here today. Landslide victory, no problems whatsoever. But that was typical of a lot of games in the Premier League, that you get in front, you've still got to go and win the game, and the opposition get a goal, you get a little bit nervous, come under a little bit of pressure, and that really is the first time that's happened to us since Ollie's been in charge. But a great win.
Bit of credit to Brighton. They have a plan. 4-5-1. They stick to it rigidly. Yeah. They can be 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. They still stick to it, and it very nearly came off. There are 1 or 2 nervous people leaving Old Trafford at the moment.
I know. Brighton had a good spell just after 10-15 minutes, and I thought there's something not right here, and they got a bit of confidence. But the second half they were coming, and we just needed that 3rd goal to kind of kill the game off. But you have to say they deserve their goal at the end, but we were just a better team at the end. But nervy last 25 minutes.
Yeah, were we just a bit wasteful? Should we have put away more of the chances that we had, Lou?
Well, you'd always like to put them all away, Jim, but the opposition that come to Old Trafford normally just sit back and we attack and attack. They decided to use every bit of ammunition they had, which was 2 big centre-halves in particular, set plays, balls in the box, and delivery into box for, I would say, the majority of their set plays was good.
Yes.
And they all looked dangerous. Even near the end there, David got a bump from the big centre-half. He was trying to take the ball, David, and everything into the back of the net. And
that's the way it used to be. It used to be all right.
Well, the ref, in fairness, the ref didn't give a free kick, so maybe we are returning to those days. But no, sometimes you've got to give a little bit of credit to the opposition, and you do today, because they came here and just didn't sit back and accept they're not going to win. Had a go at us, and of course then the opinion is I regret missing some of the chances we missed. But if you scored every chance you had, Jim, you'd be winning every game by a cricket score.
Absolutely. How much does it mean? It might not last that long, depending what happens at the Emirates, but how much does it mean to move up really, really close to the target that's the top
Jimmy, you only
four?
have to see the reaction from everyone at the end of the game, the relief. And as Lou mentioned, since Ollie come in, everything has changed, the mentality, and they want to win every game, and the expectation is there again. And the players can see now they're creeping up, and they want to keep this going.
Absolutely right, and long may it keep going as well. Of course, we'll give you a reaction from the dressing room area just as soon as we get it. We want to hear from you as well. But now let's hear from Stuart and from Paddy.
Ollie's magnificent 7. Another win and another record. He goes past Sir Matt Busby. He's the only man to win his first 6 league games in charge, 7 overall. And the match winner was a classic, Marcus Rashford. Good work by Delo down the left. Rashford cutting inside his man onto his right foot and slashing it into the top corner. It was a beauty. At that point, that made it 2-0 after Pogba's penalty. United in command. And the second half, for the first 20 minutes or so, they played some lovely stuff. But then Pascal Gross poked in a goal, and it made it a really tense last 20 minutes. Brighton were really threatening from set pieces, but United got the job done in the end. But it was far tenser than you thought it was going to be for so long.
Oh, at 2-0 shoot, you thought the minutes were going to be. Then when it got to 2-1, it was a bag of nerves from then to the end of the match, because it showed in the team as well as the fans around the stadium. Nerves play a part. You're winning easy, and all of a sudden you lose a goal. It becomes a little bit more dangerous for you. But they got the 3 points at the end of the day, which is the most important thing, although it took a hard battle at the last 15 minutes of the second half to get there.
Yeah, you win games in different ways, and United have done that here. They've dug in and they've won it 2-1.
And a bit of payback to Brighton for that defeat down there at the Amex on the second match of the season. Here are the day's other results so far. Wolves beating Leicester by 4-3. Hat-trick from Jota. Leicester pulled back to 2 apiece, and that winner from Jota came deep into overtime. Bournemouth have beaten West Ham by 2-0. Wilson among the scorers there for Bournemouth. getting them on their way, and that's a poor result for West Ham. I don't think Arnautovic played down there. And Liverpool, who are trailing to Crystal Palace, coming back to beat them by 4-3 at Anfield. Townsend had given Palace the lead, but in the second half, Liverpool struck back. Mo Salah got a couple. I think Milner got a red card as well. Mane got the fourth for Liverpool. We are beaten Brighton by 2-1. Big result at the bottom for Newcastle, winning by 3-0. Shah got a couple of those for Newcastle. That is a big result for Rafa Benitez and everybody up around Tyneside. Southampton beating Everton by 2-1. Ward-Prowse for Southampton, an own goal from Digne, and a late response from Everton from Sigurdsson, but Everton beaten down there at St Mary's, and no goals at Vicarage Road. And as I said to you, Arsenal and Chelsea kicking off in just over half an hour's time. Let's go back to the first half, can we? And Lou, we were waxing absolutely lyrical about the Marcus Rashford goal and everything that went into it, and also the build-up where Dalot played a very significant role.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see Marcus probably, Jim, in first time in his right position. He is a centre forward. He's always been a centre forward, and for some unknown reason, up to now, he spent most of his time wide left, wide right. But now we're seeing what he can do. People were saying he's a scruffy finisher. Wasn't it a scruffy finish today, was it?
No,
it's a brilliant finish. And the lad himself is starting to grow in confidence. He'll get stronger. He'll get quicker as well. And there's a lot more to come from him, but it was a brilliant build-up, brilliant goal.
And the actual finish itself was sensational at the end of it, after some astonishing trickery with his feet. That is almost a skill he's got almost on his own now, isn't he? That movement with his feet.
You want to see more of that, Jim. Every time you get Marcus in a 1v1 situation, you want him to take his man on, because especially in the penalty box, they got to bring him down if they want to stop him. But to be able to obviously to move the ball so quickly and put it in the top corner, it's a fantastic finish.
You've had a sort of joint effort nominating men of the match, but Rashford is your first nomination. Just sum him up just for us why he's up there to be man of the match on his 150th senior appearance as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't realise he'd made as many appearances as that. Still a young man.
Hold on, there's a clue.
I haven't seen the front of him. Still lots to come, Jim. Still plenty in the tank, and he can go on, as we all hoped he would be, to a great Manchester United player.
Meantime, at the back, Lindelof, who's now in his second sort of 50 appearances for this club, he's also a nomination again.
He's looking with so much confidence now. I mean, since Ollie's come in the last month or so, he's been unbelievable, playing forward, coming out with the ball, demanding or helping Phil Jones the back there, and it looks to play that we expected from him. So much confidence now on the ball, like I said. Long may they continue.
And Martial, the third nominated. Of course, as always, we want you guys to vote out there. You can vote on the app, and we'll give the result in our review programme as well. Martial coming into his own. Looks as though he's going to be here at this club a while longer as well, which is great news. But talk about his performance today.
I didn't think he was brilliant, Jim, but he did enough to get in our top three, because it was difficult to pick that third one. There's a lot of players did okay, and he was one of those players. But again, he's another player that we seen him when he first came. I remember the first goal he scored for Manchester United, a brilliant jinking run up at the straight for them, back of the net. And then we haven't seen as much of it as we probably expected. But if he signs his new contract, which everyone is hoping he does, again, we're going to see another player who's going to get better as time goes on.
As always, we want to hear from you. All the phone lines are there at the bottom of the screen. Get in touch with us, and you can talk to these two guys about yet another Manchester United victory. And I think we said before the kick-off and in the programme that Ole Gunnar Solskjær said this will be harder than Tottenham, and there were a few eyebrows raised. He was right.
100%. Tottenham was almost like, you've got to go. Then, the expectation, Tottenham's a good team. They're going to come out and play. Brighton, they're going to set 4-5-1, and they're very difficult. You only have to look at the result against Liverpool. You have to look at the result against Liverpool last week. Chris Hughton, you always know when you play against one of his teams, they're going to be difficult to break down, and it was no different today. And like Ole said, look, it was a tough performance last week to come out with 3 points. Tired legs, coming prepared for this. Mentality, expectation, and the lads managed to get 3 points. So another good day.
In one of his interviews on MUTV, Lou, Ole Gunnar Solskjær said it might do him good if we fall behind and come back. And again, I see where he's coming from, but this was a real battle, wasn't it?
It's always better getting in front.
I know
he might have said that.
But you know what he's saying.
Yeah, I know what he's aiming at. That hasn't happened to them, and he's saying that might teach them that you've got to play right from the beginning.
Yeah.
You've got to be on top form. But today, well, they got in front. Got to be honest, never looked like losing the game. But when the opposition do score a goal, it's a bit nervous, a bit panicky. But they've come in the end. They've got the right result and 3 points, which again we've overlooked the points because we're that far behind.
Well, yeah.
We've given up talking about the Premier League points, but we can get back in there. It's not going to win us the Premier League, that's obvious. But we can get in there and send out a message to really everybody about next season.
Yeah. Sure.
This is a team on the move.
You're both football realists, aren't you? And we shouldn't really be rubbing our hands in glee and saying, whoopee, we have gone fifth. That is still too far back for this football club.
That should never ever be the mentality of this club, Jim. I mean, the mentality always should be to win the league. Of course, it's not easy now, the position we're in. But let's aim for second spot. Let's aim for let's not even speak about a fourth spot, because that never should be the mentality. We should always aim for number one. But look, the way we're going in now, not the 7, which is unbelievable from where we were before. And let's continue on this road.
7 out of 7 going very nicely indeed. We have the first post-match reaction in the tunnel with Stuart. Let's join Nemanja Matic.
Nemanja had to dig in the end, but another victory.
Yeah, as you said, on the end was last 10-15 minutes was hard. But I think that we play good football today. We create a lot of chances. I think that manager is happy with the first 75 minutes. As I said, last 10-15 minutes we drop a little bit. They try to use set pieces to play long balls. They put up front some big guys, and was hard for us, but we managed to control and on the end to take 3 points, which is very important for us.
Was it nervy towards the end, or were you always felt in control?
In Premier League is always hard. You cannot be sure that you are always in control, because especially against this team, they are very strong on set pieces. They have 2 big guys on that, and they try to use. We knew it. We saw some their games. Which was enough to show where they can hurt us, but as I said, we managed to control and to win, and I'm happy for one more win. I'm happy for our team, for our supporters, and we will try to give our best to reach top 4 until the end of season.
The winning goal in the end was from Marcus Rashford. What form he's in, and what a magnificent strike as well.
Yeah, very important. Marcus is very important for the team. When he is in good form, he is one of the best players in the league, and he scored a great goal. I think it's good for his confidence, and I hope he will continue like this.
And 7 wins from 7, that's a record-breaking achievement for the manager. I mean, it couldn't have gone better for him, could it?
I think this is the best what can happen to him, to us. 7 games, 7 wins. I think that everyone needs to be happy.
The top 4 is the aim, and hopefully you'll catch Arsenal or Chelsea. I mean, they're playing each other obviously tonight.
As I said, we will give our best. The teams in front of us, they have quality. They also will try to play Champions League next season, but I'm sure that we have enough qualities to compete with them, and we will give our best. We will try to make our supporters happy.
Well done today. Thank you. Thank you.
They did his normal, thorough, excellent job, Nemanja Matic, and inevitably Paul Pogba with a penalty and Rashford with a goal get a lot. Job, Nemanja Matic, and inevitably Paul Pogba with a penalty and Rashford with a goal get a lot of the headlines, but you cannot underestimate, can you, the influence that he had, especially with those high balls coming to the box from Brighton today.
It almost seems to be since Ole's come in, all the players look different, Jim. I don't know well, I'm sure Ole planted the right seed, but the passing forward from Matic, we didn't see that for a while. I mean, he was just kind of controlling the midfield there, but he's got the ability to pass the ball between the lines and change of play, but he just does he not
pitch under Ole Gunnar Solskjær, that he is more perhaps attack-minded?
I think there's been a difference in nearly all the players, Jim. I mean, let's be honest, from the start of the season till 6 weeks ago, or whatever it was, we were sitting here every week being critical of them because of the way they were playing, or the way things weren't happening on the pitch. When things turn around, everybody gets better. Team performances get better, individuals get better, response from the crowd gets better, and that's what we've now seen since Ole's taken over. Unfortunately, don't know what went wrong with Jose towards the end, because Ole's career has been about success from he started at Porto and to coming to Manchester United. Success all the way, that's why he ended up at Old Trafford. But towards the end, we were, well, as a team we were all over the place, and as individuals, and him included, just weren't performing.
I'd have to say it wasn't easy for guys sitting where you two are sitting either.
It was tough because we know what they're capable of doing, we know the ability they have, but they weren't showing it. As Lou mentioned, we don't know if the mentality was just a bit down, and since Ollie's come in, it's just a different player.
I had one theory, Jim. I didn't think they were fit enough. I'd seen them pre-season. I didn't think they trained hard enough. I didn't think it was intense enough. Seen them during the season at training ground, didn't think they trained hard enough. Maybe Ollie's just did that simple thing, stepping up the training, getting them a bit fitter, getting them a bit livelier, because out there, as Quentin will tell you, you need powerful legs and you need to be fit to play at Old Trafford. Huge pitch it is.
I know they work very hard on the fitness side of things in Dubai, albeit at this stage of the season. I mean, the way Brighton came on strongly there, I mean, do you think there is still a question mark about their overall fitness?
I just think it was a big performance last week. And that took a lot out of the players, and it's the same team that played, so you need your full squad to kind of help out. But it also comes down to when you're in that situation, Jim, and the team comes back and it's 2-1, the mentality kind of changes, so you want to protect it. But I still think they got a lot in the tank.
I also think another thing, Jim, is if Ollie gets a result, he's more or less playing the same team the week after. Where a lot of that nonsense about players needing rest. And you know what I think about that?
Yeah, do you know, I can almost remember that when managers win matches and played the same team. It's gone chronically out of fashion, but he tried to play the same team today. Unfortunately, Luke Shaw got ill in the warm-up, but that's not a bad habit to get back into, is it? Playing the same team when you win?
I like it.
Everyone wants to get back in that team. Everyone's fighting positions, so it's great.
Okay, thank you guys. For the moment, we're going to take a short break, and we're looking for more reaction from the dressing room area when you rejoin us. You heard it from Lou Macari. Win on Friday, he gets the job. Here he is.
Ollie, for such a long time it looked like it was going to be a really comfortable victory, but were you glad to hear the whistle in the end?
Oh yeah, you were, but you're right, it seemed really I wouldn't say comfortable, but we played some great stuff. Beginning of the second half, we created some chances. We should have put the game behind us. But in any game, you get problems, you get challenged, and Brighton more than other teams, because they're so resilient, they're stubborn, they're hard to break down. Good defenders, good midfielders, and of course, when they put the ball in the box, you've got to defend. But some fantastic football at times for us.
The winning goal in the end from Marcus Rashford.
Not bad.
What a goal, wasn't it?
Not bad, is it? His 150th game. That's a feat in itself, being 21 as he is. But the level of his performances at the moment, the maturity in his finishing, his work rate, it's just fantastic. It's a dream to have players like this in a team.
You as a striker must know how important confidence is, and that was the finish of somebody who must be supremely confident right now.
Yeah, he is. You've got to be when you play the way he does, and of course he's played a lot of football. This 6-7 weeks, especially he's played all the games now in the last few weeks, and he just grows in confidence, maturity, the way he plays, but his work rate never stops, and that's what's the most pleasing.
Paul Pogba was our top scorer with 10 from central midfield. He has a unique penalty style. What do you make of it?
No, he scores them, so that's what matters. I wouldn't have done it that way. I would have just run to the ball and smashed it. But he kept his calm. It took 2 minutes before he was allowed to take it, so that shows how composed he is. I think he enjoys playing football as well, because in front of Stretford End, why don't you just enjoy it?
And was Paul the penalty taker, or we've seen several players take penalty? Jesse's taken one, Van Matter's taken one. Is it a case of who feels most confident? Or
no, Paul's the penalty taker, but we've got players who want to take penalties, and that's the key. If they want to take it, they can argue amongst themselves, but Paul is the nominated one.
I suppose you can win games in all sorts of different ways, and you've dug in the end, showed resilience, as you did a week ago. Were you pleased about that side of things as well?
Of course, the attitude is brilliant. Then again, I would have liked to have played the game out better. Just kept it better, made Brighton run after the ball more. I thought we gave it away too easily, nonchalant at times, because we got sloppy. Because maybe at times it looked too easy, and that's 3-0, that's fine, but on 2-0, anything can happen.
Finally, on the weekend, we remember, Sir Matt, you've gone past one of his records there, the first man ever to win his first 6 league games, 7 in total. I mean, you must be pretty proud of that.
Yeah, of course, it's something to be proud of, but it's something for the boys to be proud of, because that keeps the momentum going. Another win. Now we're looking forward to the FA Cup game against Arsenal, because that's a tough opponent, but it's a great challenge.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
How do the songs go?